The silence of the night in Los Angeles was broken by an unexpected scene that left fans and media in disbelief. Jin and Jungkook, two of BTS's most prominent members, abruptly boarded a flight back to Seoul without prior notice. Why would two global superstars suddenly abandon Los Angeles, a city where they had been expected to carry out important schedules? And why was their departure described by insiders as a secret order from HYBE, their management label? The abruptness of this decision has sent shockwaves not only through ARMY, but also within the broader entertainment industry. Jin, who had only recently captivated fans through his solo activities after completing his military service, was expected to continue high-profile promotions in the United States. Jungkook, equally influential and constantly in the public eye, was believed to have ongoing projects in Los Angeles. Yet, in a matter of hours, both were seen at the airport, their demeanor tense, their departure unexplained. What could justify such a sudden return to South Korea, and why was it executed with such secrecy? Witnesses at Los Angeles International Airport described the atmosphere as unsettling. Unlike the usual well-publicized airport appearances of BTS members, this departure appeared deliberately concealed. There were no coordinated media moments, no large gatherings of fans alerted in advance. Instead, Jin and Jungkook were escorted discreetly, their expressions guarded, their silence amplifying the gravity of the moment. Armies who managed to catch a glimpse of them could not hold back their confusion. Why did HYBE make this sudden move? What is unfolding behind closed doors that even the most dedicated fans were kept in the dark about? The secrecy surrounding this flight has raised more questions than answers. Observers noted the unusual synchronization of the two members' departure. It is rare, almost unprecedented, for Jin and Jungkook to adjust their schedules so drastically at the same time. Analysts are pointing out that such coordination is unlikely to be coincidental. Was HYBE compelled to act due to an internal crisis? Or is this tied to an external factor too sensitive to be revealed publicly? Adding to the tension is the fact that neither Jin nor Jungkook has spoken about this return on their personal platforms. Normally, BTS members offer ARMYs at least a small gesture, a message, or even a reassuring update when unexpected changes occur. This time, there was nothing, only silence. For ARMY, silence from Jin and Jungkook feels louder than any statement could. Silence often signifies seriousness, and seriousness in this context has translated into fear, worry, and endless speculation. Inside the fandom, debates have erupted across communities and social media. Some believe that the departure is linked to confidential recording sessions or strategic planning for upcoming BTS projects. Others are convinced that the order reflects an urgent situation that could not be postponed, whether personal, professional, or organizational. The use of the phrase secret order by those close to the matter has only heightened suspicion. Why frame it as an order rather than a decision? Why emphasize secrecy if there is nothing to hide? The very notion of HYBE exerting such control brings into question the power dynamics within the industry. Jin, despite his seniority, and Jungkook, despite his global influence, appear bound by directives strong enough to override personal schedules and public appearances. This reveals the extent of HYBE's influence, raising the unsettling possibility that even artists of their magnitude are not exempt from sudden, top-down commands. Is this a sign of an internal restructuring? Or has HYBE detected risks that ordinary eyes cannot yet see? The impact on ARMY has been immediate and intense. Across fan forums, there is an undercurrent of unease. Many describe the event as a moment that feels too quiet to be ordinary. Theories range from concerns over health, to speculations about undisclosed collaborations, to even more serious assumptions involving security. Some armies insist that the look on Jin's face conveyed exhaustion, while others noticed Jungkook appearing unusually solemn. While no official word has been given, the emotional weight of such observations has left ARMY caught between hope and dread. What cannot be ignored is the emotional vulnerability of Jin and Jungkook at this particular moment. Jin, after re-emerging from his military service, has been carefully rebuilding his stage presence and re-establishing his identity as a global performer. Jungkook, hailed for his relentless work ethic, has been constantly scrutinized for every move he makes. For both to be suddenly pulled from Los Angeles, without warning, without context, feels like a disruption not only of schedules, but of momentum, of stability, of trust. Why now? Why at a time when both members seemed poised to expand their influence even further in the West? The timing of their departure cannot be dismissed as accidental. Each detail suggests careful orchestration, yet the lack of transparency suggests sensitivity, perhaps even crisis management. Was HYBE responding to external threats? Was there a health-related matter too urgent to disclose? Or was this an internal strategy concealed under the guise of urgency? Every possibility leads to further questions rather than answers. For ARMY, the unanswered questions are unbearable. Why were two of the most influential figures in the music world moved in silence, in secrecy, and in sync? What was so urgent that HYBE abandoned the traditional openness that has long been the backbone of BTS's relationship with fans? The answers remain hidden, and the lack of explanation has created an information vacuum filled with speculation, fear, and a sense of betrayal. One truth stands clear. Something extraordinary has taken place. Jin and Jungkook's return to Korea was not a casual flight. It was a calculated move, executed under circumstances so unusual that even seasoned observers cannot recall a precedent. The event underscores both the fragility and the strength of global stardom. Fragility, because even the brightest stars can be swept away by unseen forces. Strength, because despite the secrecy, the loyalty of ARMY remains unshaken, their questions rooted in love and their frustration rooted in care. As of now, there is only one certainty. The world is watching. Every movement of Jin and Jungkook in Seoul will be dissected, every silence will be interpreted, and every delayed explanation will deepen the mystery. The question that lingers, unanswered yet unrelenting, is this: what compelled HYBE to summon Jin and Jungkook back from Los Angeles so suddenly, and why was secrecy prioritized above all else? Until the truth emerges, the tension will not fade. Instead, it will grow, spreading across ARMY, across the media, and across an industry unprepared for silence louder than sound.